Open the door. Open the door. Girl, open the door.
Christ the Son came into the world to gather those who were scattered. Whatever contributes to bring us closer together, therefore is in accord with God's plan. Thus those who are separated from each other by mountains, oceans, or great distances are brought nearer to each other whenever new vehicles are built or other means of transportation develop. Let us then call upon God to bless these vehicles, work of his hand, and protect with his gracious help those who will make use of it. Let us pray. All-powerful God, creator of heaven and earth, in the rich depth of your wisdom, you have empowered us to produce great and beautiful works. Grant, we pray, that those who use these vehicles may travel safely with care for the safety of others. Whether they travel for business or pleasure, let them always find Christ to be the companion of their journey, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen. May the Lord be the guide on our journey, so that we may travel in peace and reach eternal destination. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The Almighty God send public blessing upon the people, Father, Son,
That's you, right? What is you? We need that badly. I'll be taking some them for you. Huh? I'll be taking some them for you. Okay, good. That's okay. That's nice. Go around. That's all right. Make sure the steak is good. Get all your whatever I just. Some want to drive one, some want to drive one. Very good. Very good.
The Chief of Police sorry. Honorable Minister, come back to the podium, please, and give us some remarks.
Thank you very much. I wanted again just to make a second appearance for a different segment of today's proceeding. And I want again to thank the media. And I also want to place on the record, I'm happy that Matt is there. And to say that it is customary for ministers of national security throughout the Caribbean and by the world by extension to be part of press conferences with the hierarchy of the respective police forces on matters of significance insofar as national security is concerned. So it's not anything that is peculiar or unique to Dominica. And a number of people talk loudly, but they don't have a clue as to what is important. And I see lately I've been listening, and Matt is trying his best to bring some discipline in this program, and I want to commend you for that. But I wanted to make a few statements. Firstly, let's study on the whole issue of some of the policy decisions that the minister has taken, and to start one on the whole issue of the night court. As you know, that we are taking a decision, a policy decision, supported by an order issued by the minister, which is provided for under Section 7(1) of the appropriate act that speaks to the magistrate code of procedure, and has given the minister the authority to issue an order and to set the time and place for the holding of court. And I want to just place on the record my appreciation for the work that has been done so far in that area. All the parties have been actually working together, and the magistrates and the staff and the police for providing security and other support that we need for the Night Court to operate. And the lawyers. I have been to the Night Court on 3 occasions, and I was very happy and elated to have seen that lawyers present, dressed in a nice suit, representing the clients, etc. So far, insofar as to we have been able to do some evaluation as to how effective the Night Court has been so far, and I want to report to the public. So far, 171 matters have been heard, and 26 matters have been disposed of. Well, going forward, I believe there is a need for continued consultation of the Bar Association and other relevant stakeholders. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the executive of the Bar Association, and we spoke about how can we mend, but not bend, the process, because at the end of the day, anything that has been done that will allow for greater utility of the court, of course, is a plus insofar as access to justice is concerned. Isn't that so? And it lends to the magistrate court being better able to execute its core fundamental function, which is to actually ensure that grievances and disputes can be disposed of in the interest of the state. Now, there are a number of issues, of course, we have to take into consideration as we go forward. Some of the issues, of course, that have been actually highlighted by the Bar Association can be dealt with insofar as case management is concerned, and how the cases are scheduled. If we have peculiar situations, if we have a situation whereby a lawyer has a client, the client is an elderly person, I think in the scheduling of the matters, of course, the court administrator should be sensitive to that. So, and to have also, I mean, fundamentally, what we call strata hearing, where the parties can meet, you understand, and to decide on times for matters to be heard and give some sense of direction for the express purpose of resolving issues and disputes, and to lessen nuisances in terms of time, overlay, etc. The other issue has to do, as we move towards appointing additional magistrates, is to have a magistrate specifically assigned to do deal with a matter of case management. That magistrate herself or himself will be sitting, but it will allow for case management and to have better a better link between all the parties who are involved in the process, including the lawyers and people representing the state, etc. So those are some of the fundamental issues I think that we have discussed, and I believe there is merit in some of the concerns articulated. But the Night Court, of course, will continue in that regard. I want to place on the record that to commend Mr. Loader, Magistrate Loader, is the one assigned to Night Court, and of course the clerk who has been assigned, both of them volunteered, and so far they're holding their own. So just to end on that fundamental matter, we know in order to assist the smooth running of the Night Court, we will be engaging additional magistrates, and of course to ensure that we have the full complement, and even beyond the full complement. But during my discussion with the Chief Magistrate and Permanent Secretary, we have to ensure that the magistrates themselves spend time on the bench, and to ensure that they address the matters on the list. So I wanted to place that on record insofar as Night Court is concerned. And before I take my seat, I want to place on record again my commendation, and I want all of us to put our hands together for that. For the police, for the tremendous work that they have done. And let me just say further, as the minister, just to edify the public, the minister has the authority under the Police Act to request for RSS and forces, to come to Dominica, and any other, and even outside the RSS catchment. The law provides for that. There is no need to have a state of emergency. Mun am emepali beti stop. They will pass outside you can do. That's a good point. If you come out to the public and you're speaking, educate yourself. If you do not know, nobody is too smart to know everything. And when you see people talking, calling and talking and yanking, be careful with that. No serious person, my friend, who left this country, go overseas, starting to young. Come on, let's get serious. That self tells you something. So many of us went to school overseas. I go to speak like a Canadian then. You might say black must speaking. You can say, how I speak? But when you hear my voice, you know it's black must speaking. Authentic is not so. Everybody speaks differently. When you call in a program and you call Mr. Mad and you start yanking and calling everybody foolish, you understand? But you're revealing yourself by the accident that you have adopted. Not an accident, an accident. And then you're saying so many things and that are not true. Okay? So I'm just saying that just for your education and you know yourself, I've been calling. There is no need for any state of emergency to make a request for the engagement of RSS. And a number of instances where the chief is there, you have police officers, requests have been made to the chief and to the minister, come to the minister, the permanent secretary is there. To go to Antigua to give support when they have meetings, to go to St. Lucia for Carnival, a lot of things happening. And you know, to go to St. And then so in retrospect, I believe that what transpired when we had the continuation of the operation is that it demonstrated, therefore, and it was manifest, that there's a need to have some form of training, media training, and the ministry is willing to facilitate and to ensure that if it can be a symposium or what, or how you want to call it. I'm talking about media personality, so we can fine tune and provide recommendation, and we're willing to actually facilitate that process. So, because on issues of national security, there are certain things that we need to be trained about, educated about, because and nothing wrong, because you are trying, as a media personality, you're trying to bring out the news, and sometimes you may be doing it innocently, but by doing it, you might be jeopardizing not only the operation, but putting lives at risk. You get my point, what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important for us to have this training exercise, and we'll be actually leading the way to assist in that regard. Now, going back to the police, and we'll continue as a government. As you see this morning, the handing over all the 6 victors is just another manifestation of the policy direction that the government has taken to providing the police with what they need to do the work. Currently, the police is ongoing with the effort and that Operation Clean Street. I heard you guys call it the next name, but it's Clean Street and not Clean Sweep. Yeah, well, it's a sweep by itself, but it's Clean Street. And that's what I know the operation is. So far, just to say, as a minister, and who made the request, I am very happy to have seen the outcome so far, and the continuation of the operation. And I want us to put our hands together for the Chief of Police and the Deputy, and Mr. Maximin, who has been leading, Mr. Maximin, who has been leading the operation. Mr. Maximin, thank you very much for your leadership and your enthusiasm, and we'll continue to provide the police with the support. So I saw a report out there, but it's not a situation whereby the police in Dominica had a passive role. And the operation, from what I understood, what I know, was led by the Dominica Police Force. They're going to fundamentally declare. So what we had and what we'll continue to request is to supplement the labor force within the police force, as we have been part of in supplementing, you understand, and the other police forces and when they are carrying out operations. That is ongoing, but I want to, the operations as they continue have been planned by the police in Dominica, and that will continue. And as the minister responsible for the police, I'm not involved in the granular detail of the operation of the police force. Yes, I said, I will ensure that whatever the police needs, and they are provided with the assistance. I know there are additional promotions that have been made. I see young people have been elevated, which is good. But we're hoping, therefore, that you can continue to serve the public and to ensure that you share worth. Because the force is at a crossroad. We're looking at other measures and how do we actually look at the rank structure. And that, of course, will be with reference to at a subsequent time. But we're continuously looking at as to how we can improve the rank structure, and hopefully at least when we improve the rank structure, we would hope there will be corresponding benefits to the public. And at the end, I hope, Chief, that the people will help the police force to be more responsive and to come up with some kind of protocol as we have at the fire. The fire, within 5 minutes of a call, they must respond. So one of the worst things that can happen to a complainant whose home has been just burglarized and the people is traumatized, to call a police station and that person is being told no vehicles cannot come. That can send the person into a depression. So we have to ensure that we address this issue. So thank you very much, and Chief, the rest is yours. And may the Lord continue to bless the police force and let the operation continue. We have to ensure that there is no gang culture in this country. We have to ensure that there is no gun culture in this country. We have to ensure that the issue of public safety and public peace continue to reign in this country. And it's going to require the involvement not only of the minister and the prime minister of the government, but all of us to play our part. And this morning we are going to see the element of success that the police have been able to experience by being out there. And I know Matt will have a lot to see from when he lives there. And at least that one did not leak out. And that's good. And Chief, good work. Thank you very much, and God bless you guys.
I will now call on the Acting Chief of Police to give some remarks.
Good morning. I acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Prime Minister, Roger Skerritt. He has since left us for another engagement. The Honorable Reuben Blackmore, Minister for National Security and Legal Affairs. Joan Commodore, PS, in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs. Deputy Chief of Police Acting, Geoffrey James. ACPs Maxime Moses. And I'll announce now, I'm not told that the Minister, Superintendent Acting, Chaucer James. They have been joined with. For now, I announced them because I made a call yesterday to the Commission. And I need to know, because I need to know. And I was told certain things. There are more to come, more names, because the Commission met yesterday. I will announce that at a later date. First, so not too late, the promotion have been made. What I will say, they've made significant promotions in the force. I'm happy for all those who've been elevated. And I told them last night, after 7 last night, do the work. Much is given, much more is expected. If you know me well, I can be troublesome, but just get the work done, no matter what. Things will be said about you, but keep focused and just do what you have to do. I also wish to recognize the other gazetted officers that are here, and some of the lower ranks, because some of them were called here this morning to receive 6 vehicles that have been donated, given to the police force by the Prime Minister's good works. And again, I also want to recognize the media and members of the listening public. Again, good morning. So I wish to place on record our sincere appreciation and thanks to the Government of Dominica, more specifically the Prime Minister, for his unwavering support to the police force in the donation of the 6 brand new double cab 4-wheel drive Toyota specs for the police. I say for the police, because they were designed, built for the police from scratch. And that was done this morning. These vehicles will greatly enhance our ability to function or to provide services to the public in a more timely and efficient manner. So these 6 vehicles will be assigned to the Provincial Police Station, the Salisbury Police Station, to include Cooley Street, and I'll make a short announcement in a short while. The Selby Police Station, the La Plaine Police Station, I said La Plaine Police Station, Special Services Unit SSU, and also the Firearms Task Force, newly created Task Force, Firearms Task Force. The all stations, as you heard the Minister, have been long waiting for those motor vehicles, and we are very grateful, extremely grateful that they've been equipped now with the motor vehicles. My call here is to ensure and ask and implore the officers to serve the public with diligence, respond in a timely manner to reports. So this complaint about low vehicles should never come from our mouth again. So as I speak now, maybe 2 stations that may not have a vehicle, but they are within close proximity to the model station. Soufrière has a vehicle, well, it's limping, but Pont Michel gets a brand new vehicle. So Matt should be very happy with that. Laplaine gets a brand new vehicle, so the list is right there. So this thing about no vehicle, let's stop that nonsense and serve the public with diligence. I do assure the Minister and also the Prime Minister that we have in place our policy as our motor vehicles are taken care of in the police force, and the officers will keep the feet to the fire to ensure that the policy is strictly adhered to. So yes, we have our mileage books, never stop. We also have what we call our maintenance book. That is, anything happens with the vehicle, any maintenance that has been done on it is recorded. So oil is changed, it's recorded. Tires are changed, they're recorded. Everything. So there's a history that we can follow. And that's been done in such a way that when audit asks for our records, we can present the records to the audit. And we've never been found wanting over the years. Never been found wanting in our records. And they're not cooked. Because in order to get fuel from our gas pump, you must present an updated mileage claim book. You must, which is examined, and then fuel is given. So this vehicle shall be inspected daily by the inspector. They shall be inspected daily by the inspector. We're moving a bit away from the policy, but we want those vehicles that are being presented right now. When somebody gives you a gift, you must take care of it. When somebody gives you a gift, you must take care of it. Those vehicles must be inspected daily by the inspectors, and once weekly by chief of police or his representative. Okay? I reiterate, they must be inspected daily. If there's a scratch, you must know how you got the scratch. Don't scratch it and pack it. Don't break the glass and pack it. Because if that happens and you investigate and you found out you don't know who did it, you will find your salary looking a bit smaller. Because that's not an accident. I'll consider that it was a willful act, and you will pay because it was a willful act. If you have an unforeseen incident in motor vehicle, you report it. They're insured, a claim is made, and it's dealt with. But if you hit it and you hide it, and we catch you, you will pay for it. All of it from your salary. So I just want to, again, on the motor vehicle, just to implore upon you, the drivers, to treat those vehicles as if it is your own. Wash it, clean it, Take care of it. There are times you go fast, there are times you must go slow. You're not on a racetrack. Nobody in Dominica can get to under an hour. Come from Marigot, you leave at 8 by 8:45 without rushing and harassing the vehicle. You get to Roseau. So you're going to get at 8:30 or 8:45. So within an hour, you can get to the city. So no need to rush and to race and to run in and do some nonsense with the motor vehicles. So that is my take on the vehicles. Again, they'll be all deployed this morning. As soon as we finish, they'll be deployed today. And then if you, as you saw at the presentation of the vehicles, they've all been marked to the specific stations where they're going to. And again, take care of those vehicles. Take care of them, please. As I continue, I wish to welcome all returning Dominicans and visitors. I know right now we are in the festive season. We'll do all in our power, the police that is, to ensure that you enjoy yourself in a very safe space. A very safe space. But do not drop your guard. Do not drop your guard. You do what you have to do to ensure that you will have a very safe space. But again, sometime next week, we'll give more details how we intend to police the major activities for Independence 2025. So sometime next week, I'm suspecting Thursday, possibly next week, we will have another press conference to give you detail. At that time, you'll hear ACP Maxime. I say it 3 times, ACP Maxime. Very proud of this gentleman. Very proud. I have no regrets. Absolutely none. I recommend him from inspector for ACP. And you'll hear why I have no regrets articulated. None whatsoever. None. Now, in terms of Operation Clean Street, this operation is ongoing, and it is an operation that was developed, planned, and executed by the Police Force of Dominica in conjunction with the RSS member countries. It was headed, I shouldn't say was, it has been headed by ACP Maxime, and strongly and well supported by other officers, including Superintendent now acting John Rees, ASP acting Timothy, Inspector John Baptist, among others. I single them out because I know what it took for them. I know. I was out for a short while, but I was in touch with them regularly, and I know what it took. I'm not even the deputy. He to have his role, but officers on the ground executing the operation. I know what it took from you all. I also know what it took from all ranks to do it. I've been there, I know what it takes. And that exercise in particular, officers have been at it from day one, from 29th of September, they've been at it up to today. So we will deliver on our mandate under this operation to rid the streets of illegal firearms. So a number of activities have been planned and have been executed in support of Operation Clean Street. And I said it commenced on the September 29th of this year. It is ongoing. It's ongoing. Some of the objectives you would have heard before, but just to reiterate, of the operation is to seize all illegally possessed firearms around the island to reduce the incidence of gun crime or gun-related violence, to disrupt illicit drug trade by targeting subjects and various locations, identify and apprehend individuals suspected of or wanted for crimes. Again, when I go a little way, I'll tell you what is it we've done in that regard. So I report so far that the operation have executed 73 search warrants. We've done in excess of 50 VCPs, that is vehicle checkpoints. Again, it can be an inconvenience to you, but there are certain things that we must do. To get the gun, you must search for it. You must search for it. We've done several land and sea patrols island-wide. To date, we've arrested 19 males and 5 females in this operation, and they've been charged for various offenses. During the exercise, we've seized in excess of $10,000 US, $800 billion, 400 euros, and 30,000 plus EC dollars. Let me just say plus 30,507 EC dollars in operations. We've seized or recovered 2 shotguns, 1 submachine gun, 1 9mm Taurus pistol, 7 air rifles, 2 imitation Glock pistols, 1 imitation rifle, ammunition, 116 12-gauge rounds of ammunition, 6 9mm rounds of ammunition, 14.36 caliber ammunition, 14.22 caliber ammunition, 1 14-gauge ammunition. Now, as I said, the operation also had a C component to it, and that's why I said I have the utmost respect for the officer, Maximilian. We seized, I think, that might be the biggest haul ever in Dominica. We seized this, and that might be the biggest haul ever happening in Dominica. I remember in 1991, 92, thereabout, we had a seizure, about 3,000 pounds of cocaine. We've dropped that. So we seized 1,732 kilos of cocaine. Gross street value estimated of $46,764,000. $46,764,000. The largest haul I said ever in Dominica. And again, the hard work, I'll say it, hard work of ACP and his men, all part of Operation Clean Street. That is $46 million that's not in the hands of criminals to cause damage and danger to our citizens. Cocaine is a very dangerous substance. And I'm very happy, I'm extremely pleased that we were able to get this thing off the streets of Dominica. You may say it's not intended for here only. Regardless, we have family everywhere. But I'm very, very happy. I can't say it enough. I'm extremely happy that we were able to seize that amount of cocaine. We also seized approximately 47.7 kilos of marijuana, cannabis, in the operation. Additionally, a plea has been made to the public. We had the amnesty. Yes, we got about 5 guns, there were about 6 guns, 6 firearms. But we'll be making a plea to the public. Nonetheless, regardless of the amnesty being over, ended, handing those illegal firearms to the police. You must be able to find an officer that you can speak with. And this is not about trust. No, there must be an officer that you can speak with. And I'm pleased to report, very pleased to report, that officer, a citizen of Dominica, without their own name, handed over to Sergeant Yankee. I must call his name. Sergeant Yankee. 9 firearms. 9 firearms, including rifles and pistols and revolvers. 9. One time. And 260 rounds of ammunition. So 9 firearms and 260 rounds of ammunition was handed over to Sergeant Yankee. He works in St. Joseph. I'm extremely proud of that officer. Very proud. And the diligence, and if you know the German well, he's very meticulous, very professional. He complains little, but what he does, he makes sure you hear him. But I'm very pleased that he was able to surrender to him. And again, you will see him on the street this morning. So as I close, I wish to express my profound gratitude again to the Honorable Prime Minister for his unwavering commitment to the police force over the years. And again, you heard him this morning. Everything we ask for, we get it. It may take some time, but we get it. We get it. We ask for vehicles. We ask for 10. He said, well, I have 6. I say, bring it now. Let's have it. We'll have the 6 now. We'll take it. We'll get it 4 later. And so on. Also, the Honorable Minister, Reuben Blackmore, the Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs. What a minister. Tough minister, but he means very well. He'll trouble you a lot, he'll harass you a lot, call you a lot. But not for his personal business. To ensure that you get what you have to get done, to ensure that the public of Dominica is served properly and professionally and in a timely manner. Again, it's unwavering support to the police. And you ask it to him, he make a lot of noise of you, but he's going to bring it. It's like you're asking him for something. Why you want it? But you're still going to get it. Honestly, we cannot say enough thanks to the minister. Again, I said, we'll be asking for more. Yes, I called him yesterday. He said, did you call me? I said, no, I didn't call you, but however, you're getting the free vehicles, additional free vehicles. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. The Executive Director of the RSS, again, the support that we've received from the RSS is tremendous. And we too, as the Minister, from time to time, unannounced to the public, support RSS member countries. And coming up very soon, sometime next year, the requests have already been made to support Antigua for the Commonwealth Heads of meeting in Antigua sometime next year. We're not going to announce that to the public, but we have to send officers. We must send officers to support them. Additionally, the Executive Director of Impact, based in Trinidad, they are partners, they're very close to us. They too assist us with this operation. We're not going to announce it in advance, but they too assisted us very well, and they lended some very good support to us, and who have helped to the success of the operation. The chiefs of police and commissioners of police throughout the RSS member countries that assisted us, I'm not going to call them out right now, but we work very closely, and we are very happy that they were able to do that and give us the support. The officers that came in locally and regionally, who participated in the first 2 weeks of the exercise. Remember, the first 2 weeks of the exercise means that it will continue. Again, I'm very grateful for your commitment to duty. Again, we work to achieve and to strive and ensure that the objective of the operation is fulfilled. The general public have been very, very supportive of the police throughout the 2 weeks and even before that. But we saw the support of the public over the past 2 weeks. And a lot of the successes that we have would not have been possible without the support of the general public. I'm even more pleased that with this seizure that we did, it's over 740 kilos. We've had it for about 2 days now. 2 days, Mr. Maximin? About 2 days? And it's the first time it's been announced. I have not seen it. I look at social media, I have not seen it. Nowhere.
You missed that.
I didn't see it.
But you missed it.
I didn't see it. But I'm thankful that it's not out there. Or not out there. No photographs were out there. None. Zero. Zip. You will see some pictures this morning.
I see something very brief.
Well, they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. But they did not know the weight. They did not know the weight and what it was. So it means, therefore, that we can do our operation here and be very confidential. Very, very confident in the operations. And to get 1,700 kilos of cocaine is not an easy feat. And I also wish to place on record, if I conclude, the tremendous support by the Coast Guard officers. Go there, day in, day out, night in, night out, treading the waters, ensuring that we keep us safe. And we're not the safest area, easiest area to secure. We have a lot of days. But they go out there relentlessly, every day, every night. And the efforts must be commended. And the crew that brought it in, I saw them in the morning when they were offloading that vessel. And they look very tired. Because to move 1,700 kilos of cocaine is not an easy feat. That's a lot of 3 truckloads or more loading. It's a lot of stuff. It's not displayed there this morning because of security reasons. We didn't display it, but you see some photographs on our vessel as being carried to land. Just as I close, I just wish to again make a plea of people who have in their possession firearms without being the holder of a user's license. Surrender the firearm to the police. Surrender the firearm to the police. And again, we won't spare any effort, none. And you would have seen the operation for the past 2 weeks. We went to every village, every house we wanted to, and use whatever means necessary, whatever force we have to use to execute our functions. Surrender the firearm to the police and prevent the embarrassment. And anyway we have information that a weapon is illegally, we'll come for it. So if you have to take up your door or side of a house or 3 windows to get in there, we'll come for it. To prevent the embarrassment for you and your family, you still have an opportunity to surrender the firearm to the police. So that may call, surrender the firearm to the police. And also, if you want to do it directly to the police, you can do it to a priest or somebody in the village. You can also call 1-800-TIPS, 1-800-8477. Somebody in that, one of the pistols will be covered. That was done. And we record the firearm in an abandoned building. So you can do that too. We don't need to know who you are. The fact is, we only firearms off the streets. This is the most important thing. So thank you very much. And as I said, you will see on display some of what we've been able to see in the past 2 weeks. But the cocaine, because of it's very voluminous, and we won't bail out. And you will see a photograph or 2 on the screen, on the vessel. Thank you very much.
Minister, I call the Honorable Minister to the podium so we can do some closing and we'll do the demonstration after.
Okay, I'm going to be very short. I want us to do something here today, and I want all the police officers to stand here. Stand here. Including the chief of I want the media and personalities who are here to put their hands together for the police. And rest assured that you have my full support. You can sit now. And that of the government. And as we have declared before, let me just say again, illegal firearms and cocaine are the 2 biggest threats to our public safety and stability as a country. And we will do everything possible to support the police. Chief, if you need a backhoe or backhoe to dig up backyards, I know you have operators within SSU. Excavator, let me know. We have to ensure once and for all that we address this threat to our public safety, and to ensure as we traverse the track towards our independence and before that Creole Festival, that those festivities can be experienced and enjoyed by all, including our friends coming in to celebrate with us. Dominica shall remain a peace zone, and we shall not be afraid to ensure that we act to prevent the stage to becoming a pathological one. We cannot allow for any state of anomaly, social disorder, to be part of our society. So we have an opportunity to support the police. So let me say thank you to the public for the support so far. In the main, the public support the police. And to my friends within the RSS, from the executive director, was my personal friend, and the deputy director was a Dominican, was not the deputy director. Our colleagues within Impact who manages issues of national security and crime on behalf of CARICOM member state, and all our friends internationally, thank you for your support. There are many more things you'll be seeing we cannot talk about right now that will be done to enhance our ability to properly carry out surveillance. And that we'll do with a combination of factors. If it means that we have to increase the reward to provide information and to sell out folks with firearms, that will be considered also. And I want to support the Chief of Police when he speaks to the need to be not afraid to surrender your firearms, because the Firearms Act provides the minister with the facility by way of an order to free anyone from being prosecuted for breaking a fire. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to jam the brakes. We have to jam the brakes real hard on those folks who want to actually disturb our peace. I'm very serious about it. If there's one thing I can do before I leave this position, is to ensure that we dismantle the syndicate, if it though it means costing my life. That is an indicator. All of us in this country are serious, must take seriously, not only the police. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we can proceed to our display, and then we'll take any questions from the press.
So you can see some of the contraband is in the bowl. So the contraband on the left is in the bowl. And the other one to the
In terms of the seizure by the police, are there any arrests?
Specifically with this hall, major hall.
Good morning again, good afternoon. So far, we haven't made any arrests with reference to the cocaine, but we have an active investigation ongoing. And if you had any development, sorry, you will get to know. But no answer, no arrest. But while I'm here on the podium, I'm not sure if you'll call me back, but we are actively in the stage of recruiting. So again, I want to make an urgent plea upon citizens of Dominica to apply to join the force. I've said it many times. The pay is good pay. You're getting one of the highest paid in public service when you start on join the force. Some even higher than some of the private sectors. And it's a disciplined business work. I say, give us 5, give us 10, give us 20 years, 15 years, and you can move on. But my plea here, my urge here, is to join us. You'll find some good friends in here, good comrades in here. So apply, and we're trying to see if we can bring up do another batch of 60. Again, people are moving on, people getting old, retiring, and for whatever reason they live in. So we have a few vacancies that we want to fill. So please urge your family, your friends, don't stay home and stay on your mother's account or your father's account. Join the force.
What's the age range? What's the age range?
18 to 30 years.
18 to 30.
4 subjects, including English and maths. And your character is good. So if you smoke a split for 2 or joint or 2, you can still be considered. It's legal, it's have been decriminalized. But if you're actively selling on the block and elsewhere, come on. But if you smoke in your young days, going to school, that can be wiped out. You don't have a conviction, that's okay. But please, as I said, it's urging. We're not begging, but we're urging people, citizens of Dominica firstly, to apply to join the force. Thank you.
Chief, once you're there, I want to ask a question in terms of the Operation Clean Sweep. Clean Street, sorry. I want to find out from you what you think that the officers would have learned from, one second to finish, from working with members of the RSS, because I personally witnessed, something on the streets in Louvier, to be more precise, and the way those guys conducted themselves. I was in my vehicle, nobody, and I recall a few persons came across, and those guys just move, and people who coming across move, and people who commenting, but the way they conducted themselves was so professional. So I wanted to find out what your guys would have learned from the behavior of members of the RSS and working with them.
I have to be careful as I answer the question, Mr. John Baptist. But what you don't know is that, and I said before, I have no regrets in sending to the commission the name of an inspector of police to go up to ACP. In the case of Mr. Maxim. What you don't know also is that Superintendent Delvin John Weiss just came from Grenada doing a commandant staff training. What you may not also know is that Inspector ASP Timothy is a seasoned professional in terms of operations. We don't blow our choppings too loud. What we not also know is that John Baptist, the friend of my singular, is a seasoned intel officer, also in operations. We don't shout too much about that. And all the other officers that were handpicked, I say handpicked by Maxim for the operation, were well suited for the operation. So yes, we had the support from the RSS, but a lot of what you see happening on the ground, we have 24 officers of the RSS, 24. 24. So it's 23 because someone was in charge of the team. That person was not actively involved on the ground. And we were doing simultaneously, or sometimes 8 search warrants at one time. One time. Each of the teams have about 8 officers, 9 officers. 6, 7 VCPs at the same time. Different areas. Each of those VCPs have about 15 men. So do the math. So who was carrying the lion's share of the work? Okay. The RSS are our partners. We welcome them. We love them. But sometimes you have to look a little closer to see. Why don't we serve them? Mr. From vote for them. What? Is that there? So a lot of what you saw happening, Mr. John Baptist, on the ground, was being done under the tutelage, guidance, directions of ACP Maxime, supported by ASP John is at the time, ASP Timothy, Inspector John Baptist, among others. Okay, so 24 members of the RSS were here, 24. And we had in excess of 100 officers doing the operation. So we had about 80, sometimes 100 officers of Dominica doing the operations.
Mr. Commissioner, the big issue I've heard during my many, I talk 2 talk shows a day, so I hear people on the ground. The big issue that seemed to have emanated there during that time is people don't trust the police. I'm happy to this morning that you reported that you got community assistance. What are you doing as a chief to bridge that trust or get that trust back in the public?
The results of the operation show clearly that the issue of trust, people say they do trust, is not totally correct. How do you seize or surrender 9 firearms to the police? And the police have not said it's James Brown or Jacqueline. How do you seize $46 million EC of cocaine without trust? How do you seize all the weapons that we showed without trust? How do you do it? How do you execute all those warrants at the homes of the suspects and they do not know the police is coming? So sometimes when people say things, I don't say much, honestly. You have to find out who is saying it, why they say it. But I'm saying again, there must be an officer within the force, within the organization that you can trust, you can call, you know him well. I have that information, here it is. And that's what's happening. That's why we're able to recover what you've seen this morning. That's why we've been able to recover a lot of stuff. And other things I will not say. That's why we've been able to recover and the success there so far of the operation. So honestly, people are just saying a lot of things about trust. But there must be an officer you can call in confidence. Must be. We have over 600 officers. There must be one.
I think the next question is for you and the minister. I know he needs to do some polygraph tests. Would you be able to tell us this morning what's the success rate of the polygraph test?
For which one?
Polygraph officers.
We conduct, Mr. Peltier, from time to time polygraph examinations on officers from time to time. What I'll say, that the success rate, you don't fail or pass a polygraph. You don't fail or pass. There's something that they call significant reactions or no significant reactions. So it's not a fail or pass. Sometimes you can have a significant reaction by just moving. Because I understand you must sit there for about 4 hours like a robot. And if the room is hot and it starts sweating, the probes will pick up things. It may pick up something at the same time you have been asked a question. So sometimes what we do, if we have a significant reaction, we retest somebody. But if you speak in the more specifically what we did recently, all the officers passed. Again, it is not pass and fail, we fly in colors. That's what I'll say. Nothing from goodness? Okay, bro.
I want to support the Commissioner of Police on the issue of public trust. I believe it's not unique to Dominica's police force, and it's indeed a bona fide concern and question to be asked. And the question is, what are we doing to mitigate that, against that? That is why a couple months ago we established a community policing unit, all in the effort to bridge that gap and to mitigate against the element of suspicion that is you have between the public and the police. And I want to take this opportunity to commend the men and women within that unit. I must say, Sergeant Andrew there, maybe on the field, doing a tremendous job. I've gotten, for a matter of fact, I was speaking to an official, a friend of ours, and for over an hour, and she was moved by that attempt by the police to cultivate that element of trust between the police and the public. And we want it to be a national effort. I see in our mix Sergeant Drago, who has been doing, or who did, I'm not sure where he's stationed right now, a remarkable job he used to be in Colliwo, but now he's in Salisbury, but we now have a sergeant in Salisbury, which is good. Put our hands together. So all that in an effort to build public trust. The other issue, we just actually created a position of an assistant commissioner of police for administration and training. The intention is to look at the whole issue of administration from a global standpoint and to have embedded within administration the level of competence to deliver a number of issues, including some kind of mechanism whereby the public can actually launch the complaints in a transparent way, where complaints made against police officers can be dealt with, because some of the complaints might not be criminal in nature, but you see that a police officer goes down the route, and before it gets to a criminal issue, you call the police officer in. So that's why the whole issue of placing emphasis on personnel also is critical in training. So all those things that we're doing. And the issue of how do you mitigate against the breach of confidentiality, which is an offense under the police regulation. So a police officer can say, I don't want to take the polygraph test. But of course, you have to think of the consequences. It's a discipline organization. And I think I want to commend all the members within the task force for firearms. None of them said no. And I think that in itself speaks about something. You have ACP Maxime. He has done and passed the polygraph test over 11 times. The guys work in the various departments. They do polygraph all the time. We have trained instructors to administer polygraph tests in Dominica, Powell, Edward, and others. So we have competence there. And then we are awaiting the next team to come to Dominica to polygraph the gazetted officers. That is to say, the assistant superintendent of police and superintendents and all the others. Because I'm saying, if that the folks at drug squad, the folks at the gun unit, the folks in a special branch, and Coast Guard have to do the polygraph test continually, but they have to report to the officers. Isn't that so? It's only fair that the officers do it too, because if the public is fearful of giving information to the police because they might leak out any, a lot have to do with safety. We as a government, as the minister, have the responsibility from a policy standpoint to put systems in place to try to mitigate against that. So I wanted to say that. And my last one, as it pertains to additional police recruits, from what I've been advised by the chief of police, maybe 80% of the applicants are ladies. So we also want to encourage, which is good, we also want to encourage our young men to apply to join the police force. And it's one of for me, my life has been defined by the police force. It's the best organization to be part of. But when you hear about police officers like a drink rum, I was a police officer, I never drank rum. I never smoked. You get my point? So you have to come with a strong personality. Most of the officers when I joined on training, they were Christians. Do you get my point? So I'm just saying, the few people who have certain tendencies, sometimes we want to paint the whole police force with that black brush of tar. Do you get my point? But that's not indicative of the police officer or the police force. I want to just put it on the record. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No more questions? All right.
Let's get the news. We have some more guys. Police compliments the police.
You want to tell them about
Let's see.
when's the date? It's in November. So I just want to make an announcement. Police Week, which of course was supposed to be this month, September, we moved it to November from the 15th to the 23rd, and the theme is Serving with Pride, Protecting with Purpose. And so we want to encourage members of the public, I will be there for sure, to join us when we announce our activities. We'll be putting out something soon in the press, right, Chief? Indicating what activities we'll have and inviting the public to join us. Please, I think we normally have t-shirts on sale at that time, etc., and themed mugs, etc. So please make sure you join us. I know for sure I will be there. All right, thank you. I want to thank the members of the press always for your continued support, for always being there. Sometimes we call you on short notice and you're always diligently here. We thank you for that. I know you also have a busy day today. There are other activities going on. We thank you so much. Have a pleasant day, everybody.
Yeah.